Daily Planet, that sinking feeling. We'll show you why this Boeing 737 slipped beneath the waves off BC over the weekend and why that's a good thing.
Plus, all screwed up and proud of it. We'll introduce you to a guy who invents new kinds of screws to keep this world a little bit more secure.
And touchdown! NASA's Stardust capsule is finally back home here on planet Earth after heading to a comet and catching its dust. We'll find out how the mission went. Hello and welcome to Daily Planet. I'm Natasha Stowell.
I'm Jay Ingram. Also on the show today, a woman who's inventing a fish restaurant with one difference. This one is for the fish.
Plus, we'll show you what the world's largest motorbike looks like, and it is absolutely massive. It's Inventions Week here at Daily Planet, and to kick the week off, we thought we'd show you the cutting edge of screw design. Now, that may not sound very high-tech, but as you're about to discover, there's one man who has a reputation for inventing new screws to make the world a better place.
Meet Kenneth LeVay, or as his friends call him, the Screw King.
The screw is the best invention in the world because within 10 feet of anybody, you have tens or hundreds of screws.
From our homes to our cars to desks, the humble screw does hold a lot of our world together. Illinois Tool Works, ITW, is one of the world's largest manufacturers of screws. They pump out more than 6 billion every year.
If we assume an average length of 1 inch, we laid them end to end, they would go around the equator of the Earth 4 times.
Remarkably, screw design has changed little since Archimedes invented it more than 2,000 years ago. As an engineer with ITW, Ken knew there had to be a better way.
The limitations to a fastener have historically been is you have to have this helix or this ramp that wraps around the screw.
Ken thought by changing the thread pattern on a screw, it could better hold and drill into different materials. With 18 patents and another 20 pending, he really is an outside-the-box thinker.
I think I've always been an inventor since I've been a little kid playing with Lego.
Ken first wanted to tackle the difficulty of drilling a screw into concrete.
If you take a chisel and you could possibly take that and put it onto a screw, this onto here, was the thought.
They thought Ken was out of his mind, that you couldn't really do things like that.
Everybody feels like it might be a dumb idea until you prove it, so it takes a lot of effort to prove your idea to people, and you have to have a lot of self-confidence in what your idea is. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then nobody else will also.
By taking the 50-year-old screw geometry and matching it with the latest computer technology, Ken was able to see his ideas in 3D. He calls it works. That's screw spelled backwards.
That's a chisel feature right there on the chisel, and if you put that into a round shape, there's your chisel feature right here. We create it with this math. Your chisel feature is right here.
Putting math to metal required electric discharge machining, EDM. It submerges a metal block into oil and zaps a pattern onto the surface with a 20,000-degree electric arc.
The smoke you're seeing is actually vaporized metal. We then have all of the geometry necessary in this steel tool to make a screw. The way we make a screw is by taking a round rod with no shape and you place it at the start in between these two pieces of steel. With a lot of pressure in, you push them across, and the screw rolls over the surface, creating a screw.
And it worked. In fact, tests have shown that this new screw, dubbed the Tapcon,
A pleasure to drive in.
is 40% easier to drill than traditional screws.
That compared to, what would you rather do all day long?
Once he'd mastered concrete, Ken then set his eyes on another troublesome material for screws, plastic.
When you tighten up a screw into plastic, you put literally hundreds of pounds of pressure on these little teeny threads. The plastic, over time, wants to move.
As a result, many auto parts, like this car manifold, require brass fittings to hold the screw in place and protect it from heat and vibration. Ken went back and tweaked the threads.
But we took a regular thread, and if we put a very highly engineered little divot in it, the plastic then moves into these features, creating this screw to be physically locked into the plastic.
He called his invention the boss screw. In order to prove to industry that the design works, he travels the world with a laptop and a briefcase. Inside the briefcase is a custom-built machine, the CRT.
The CRT machine stands for cyclical retention test, and the purpose of it is to vibrate regular screws and the boss screw in plastic in front of the customer to show them the difference. And we'll test this screw. The pressure goes away immediately. In a matter of 6 pulses, you've lost all tension, the screw is now loose. What we're able to do with a boss screw is create the plastic and the screw to interact together to eliminate this from happening. This test is 500 cycles of vibration. Now I'm going to double it.
Still skeptical? Well, the big automakers aren't. General Motors, for instance, has already ordered millions.
For General Motors to release all of their interior screws in the boss screw product is a total belief.
But Ken wasn't done yet. Metal fasteners have their own set of problems.
Normally in a machine screw, you need to have clearance in the thread. That clearance allows you to drive the screw in. That clearance is also damaging because if you have that, it can rattle and loosen.
By putting a small deformation in the thread, a whole new screw is born.
As I engage the sine wave into the thread of the sinulock portion of it, I get rid of that rattle. We lock the thread into the nut without tension under the head.
The sinulock also avoids the need for glue, like these microscopic beads that break and adhere when screwed in.
This might work once or twice, but the 5th or 6th time you have nothing left. The sinulock works forever.
Ken hopes to tackle softer metals like magnesium and aluminum next, but admits he's already exceeded his own expectations.
There's expertise on fastening joints, and the thought that I could change that world, that 100-year-old world or 1,000-year-old world of screws, is just fascinating by itself.
Holding our world together a little tighter, the Screw King rules.
Don't go away because we have got lots more.